the king of bad boy records is now fighting for his freedom. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, once a titan of hip-hop, now stands trial for a series of shocking federal crimes. From sex trafficking to racketeering, this case has rocked the entertainment industry to its core. And today, the courtroom heard disturbing testimony that may change everything. Viewer discretion is advised.
So I was telling y'all earlier in the show that after being in court yesterday for the opening statements and the first couple witness testimonies, I think that Diddy could potentially get off. His legal team is really like that. Now, here's why. Number one, they were so good about changing the narrative around this Cassie video. Number two, they painted a good picture of Diddy being the aggressor, but an aggressor in an already aggressive situation. When it came to like the victim that is saying that he put his hands on her. So let's talk about the CNN video, the Cassie beating video.
Combs, 55, has denied all charges, but this case goes far beyond celebrity scandal. Prosecutors claim he masterminded a dark, underground world of manipulation, abuse, and coercion, all hidden behind the glittering veil of music fame. And at the heart of it all, Cassie Ventura, the former pop star and longtime partner of Combs.
Now, Diddy's team is saying...
so that's why the video matters to the court.
Diddy's team is saying, no, because freak-offs weren't a thing. You guys were consensually engaging in sexual acts, but that's not even what happened here. Diddy's team pointed out the fact that when he comes back out, like after he like throws a vase and he walks away, he has a lit up phone in his hand. He grabs the phone out of her hand. They were arguing over allegedly something that she saw in the phone, that this is just a very tumultuous, like jealous relationship, right? So this guy, he's important. This witness is important because he's going to help you determine which side of that you believe. So he's running down what he saw. He says he saw this guy in the room when he's talking to the prosecutors. He's also saying that, like, you know, after Cassie left, there was like this 7-foot man that, like, basically like a big man that came and picked Cassie up, and obviously she knew the man, but it was kind of uncomfortable going back to the whole, you know, Diddy's team was helping him orchestrate all this stuff. He says he went back upstairs to talk to Puff and explain to him the rules of the hotel and that he had to pay for some things, and Diddy had this like devilish stare on his face when he came out of the elevator at one point, and that Diddy allegedly offered him money.
The first witness, a hotel security officer, recounted a chilling encounter. A woman in distress, glass shattered on the floor, and Sean Combs staring at him with what he called a devilish look. The woman? Cassie? Her eye? Bruised purple?
I don't think that the jurors are going to be able to separate that video from their mind.
They can't. They're going to have to.
No. I think it'll
so.
still be there, but I think one thing that, because I thought it was weak in the beginning, but when I saw Brian Steele and the way he operated, I said, oh, I understand it. Because think about Brian Steele and everything he just did. He basically made that witness so uncredible, right? Regardless of how you look at him. And then sitting next to that, you have the prosecutor, you have the defense attorney opening up and saying he is, if he was being charged with domestic violence today, he would be guilty. They owned up to all of it. So it's like, what you going to do?
I understand what you're saying. But when Cassie takes that stand,
I think that might happen today.
And she was young back then, super young. When she takes that stand and she talks, and you look at her in contrast to the money, the power, the age of Diddy, and they're on her, and she's basically saying, I didn't want to do any of these things. It was out of my control. I was getting drugged up, alcohol, getting beat on, blah, blah, blah. All of that's going to go out the window.
They're going to have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt.
Well, one of them, yes.
If they're going to have to prove all that without a little bit of doubt that she enjoyed it or she liked it, it's going to be difficult.
That's my whole thing is everything you're saying, I agree with.
Videos too.
Yeah, they do have videos, but they
need
also...
a video of him forcing her.
They have videos. They said that they have audios, and they said they have a lot more. So, again, this was just the first day. But I will say, y'all talking about that shadow of doubt, his team was just really good at opening up that, hey, y'all got to do a little bit more to prove this.
Diddy's defense is clear. The encounters were consensual. His lawyer, Tenny Gergo, argued, you're not here to judge his sexual preferences. But even as they distanced him from the worst accusations, they conceded, he may have committed domestic violence, just not the crimes he's on trial for.
So Brian Steele was like, okay, well, you told us that when you do your incident reports, you got to report the W's, where, what, why, who, like all the details. So he goes into the incident report and he says to him, he says, the incident reports are important, right? Because when we're recounting these things, we're relying on your report. So everything in your report is valid. because y'all depend on that. He's like, yeah. So he instantly starts getting him. He's like, okay, so you mentioned something about Cassie having a purple eye when you got off of the elevator. Why wasn't that in your incident report? The man said, well, I didn't think that was significant to put in. Brian still said, so you thought it was significant today, but it wasn't significant 9 years ago? So then he says, you said that you saw a man inside of their hotel room. Why wasn't that in your incident report? Did you ask the man his name? Did you talk to him? And he was like, no, because the man didn't really say anything. So then Brian still was like, well, you also mentioned that you offered to call the police, but Cassie told you not to. Why didn't you put that in your incident report? And he was like, because I didn't think it was important to, like, you know what I mean? She said, don't call the cops.
The obvious answer to all of that is because he was trying to cover up for Diddy.
So no. But like, listen.
Yes,
so
that's the obvious answer for all of that.
I'm about to keep going. Listen. So he's like, no, because I didn't think that was important. Blah blah. So he's like, so when you say that you saw this man inside of the hotel room, right? Can you talk to us about like how the hotel room was set up? Because the point he was trying to get to, but they backed up off of it, was Diddy would have been in a presidential suite or a larger hotel room where if you're standing in the doorway, you're not seeing someone sitting on a bed. You're not seeing a person, and you didn't even put that in your report. So he's like, that makes no sense whatsoever. And then the prosecution had already played the video in full, and then they played these videos he recorded on his phone. And they asked him, well, why would you record videos on your phone? And he's like, because if I had told my wife that this just happened, because I knew who Puff was, but I didn't know who Cassie was, she wouldn't have believed me. That blows, even if he was just trying to cover up for Diddy, that now makes him look like you were so fanned out at this point. We can't trust either side. We can't trust you in defense of Diddy.
He sent the video to his wife?
He sent the 2 videos to his wife, and in the video you hear him laughing like, look how shiny my shoes are. Like, he's not taking it serious at all.
Cassie Ventura rose to fame with the 2006 hit Me and You, produced by Diddy himself. Their professional relationship turned romantic. But in 2023, she filed a damning civil lawsuit. Allegations of assault, manipulation, and years of coercion. That lawsuit, settled in days, was the spark that lit the federal investigation.
So then he's like, people were coming up to me afterward that worked for the hotel asking me about this video, and I'm telling them, like, he's super excited, telling everybody about it, telling everybody what happened. But now today you only are saying that you remember certain things that go against Puff while you're on the stand, but you didn't say those things back then.
Because he was covering up for Puff back then, but maybe he got a conscience now is all I'm simply saying.
But did he get paid by Diddy? Did he take money?
He said he didn't take the money. He said that Diddy offered him a ton of money, and to that Brian
I thought
still
it was a stack.
Yeah, he said he came out with a huge stack of money and he didn't offer it. To that Brian still said, well, you were basically, because he kept saying, I kept telling Diddy how much he had to, not how much he had to pay, but the fact that you had to pay for all the stuff that you messed up. And if Diddy's already saying to you, I don't want this to get out anywhere, he's like, so of course when you came back up to him, he had the money ready or whatever, because you're saying he had all this cash. Like, he had it ready because he just wanted to take care of it and move on.
You know what's interesting? There's nothing they can do or say that is going to minimize what people saw in that video. And I know that they're trying to keep a different narrative, but
yes.
If you've seen that video, you're not going to forget that video.
This isn't the first time Diddy has faced public scrutiny. From his 1999 nightclub shooting trial, to feuds with the notorious B.I.G.'s estate, and even recent lawsuits from former employees, the whispers have never stopped. But this case, this trial, may finally hold him accountable.
And now listen, I heard that, so I wouldn't be, for sure Cassie's getting on stand this week, but I heard that it will possibly be today because we were trying to figure out how pregnant she is. I'm hearing she's due like first week of June. So
damn.
Yeah, so
Them visuals gonna be that's gonna be some crazy optics.
Yeah.
A pregnant woman on stand crying, talking about abuse that she used to endure, and you're gonna look like a real asshole if you a defense pressing her.